Spendy.
Howdy, or how do you do? How do I do? Why am I wearing the suit today? Because I felt like it. You guys deserve the best. So, yeah. Don't expect this to ever happen again. We're talking about Super Mario Kart today. And to everyone that leaves in the first 30 seconds, I hope you have a really nice day. Yeah. And to everyone else clinging to the remains of their attention spans, let me tell you why we're talking about Super Mario Kart. I didn't have the best time with Mario Kart World. I found it to be beautiful with tons of character and wonderful design, yet for me it lacked that right kind of substance. I managed to get the credits to roll, but the more I tried to enjoy the game, the more I found myself criticizing it. But then I started to think that maybe I'm just nostalgic for those older Mario Kart games, that maybe my rose-tinted glasses were distorting my view. So I'm reviewing the Mario Kart series to refresh my view and give my thoughts on Mario Kart World a better basis. And to do this, in each game, getting the credits to roll is the goal. And in Retroachievements settings, I'll be logged into Retroachievements. These games aren't new to me at all, so adding some optional objectives might help me uncover some viewpoints that I wouldn't have had otherwise. One more thing I'd like to make clear is I'll be considering as best I can the time frame that the game was released, my birth year 1992. Comparisons to newer games will not be held against my final thoughts on it. Even though I own a copy now, from what I can remember, I only rented Super Mario Kart as a kid. I even got to play it a little bit with my mom, and she only really played Dr. Mario or Tetris, and then in her later years, she got sucked into that black hole of Farmville 2. And renting it was a lot of fun, but I remember it being difficult to control, and that I couldn't get very many gold trophies at the time. But I've come a long way since then, and let me tell you, it's still difficult to control. Mario Kart is a series where you hold a button down to accelerate and you never let that thing go. Each entry in the series doesn't really have corners that warrant slowing down because of the drifting mechanics that allow you to complete these turns smoother and faster. Even in Mario Kart 8's 200cc, all you would have to do is enter the turn at the correct angle and then you would adjust it slightly by tapping the brake button here and there. But in Super Mario Kart, you may just find yourself letting off the gas regularly to help with the turn. But why would this be? Well, most high-speed turns have quite the loss of traction exiting the turn, causing you to slide for a long time. The heavier the character, the longer the slide. And then each type of terrain on top of that has a different kind of slipperiness. Many people actually criticize this game for its slippery feel, but I always thought it was something that you would have to adjust to with practice. And then when you understand how to control it better, you'll be staying on the track more. Anyway, I found out that when you let off the accelerator, it gives you a bit of that traction back and helps you stay on the track. For the heavier characters, especially at higher speeds, I would find myself tapping the brake button to get some of that traction, or even letting go of the gas first and then tapping the brake, and you could feel your car sticking to the road more. While it was a great discovery, it was still tough to make use of it effectively. This was nothing like all the other Mario Karts I was used to. And talking about the characters, there's 4 different weight classes, each class having 2 characters positioned above and below each other on the character select screen. They control identically, but through the power of placebo and playground rumors, Koopa might just feel better to use than Toad, never mind his off-model flesh-colored skin, which was the correct color in the artwork for some reason. Maybe Bowser had the same issue. Nope, yellow skin everywhere it counts. Maybe Koopa was a fan of Michael Jackson? Anyway, to understand these characters a little bit more, the instruction booklet that came with the game has this confusing chart that tells you the acceleration and top speed of the classes and how they fare on a few of the different terrain types. You actually have to read the Japanese official Nintendo guidebook to see a graph of each class's performance accelerating from a standstill. It also mentions you gain 1 kilometer of top speed for each coin you have up to 10 coins. So I practiced my way through 50cc without much fuss, even getting the flawless achievements for getting first in every race during those Grand Prix. I actually remember struggling with 50cc as a child, so if this is your first time playing the game, hang in there dude, it's gonna get better, I promise you. But 50cc has always been the easiest. That doesn't stop the computer players from attacking you though. The Mario Brothers will use stars occasionally, and even more so when you're close to them. That's real bastard behavior if you ask me. Peach and Toad both use a strange yellow mushroom that will shrink you if you run into it. Yoshi has eggs, Bowser fireballs, and Donkey Kong Jr. banana peels that they'll leave behind as a hazard or throw at you when you're ahead. The bottom screen will even automatically switch to a rear view to alert you of a potential threat. I'm not sure how that works if you're already using the rear view though. I keep that ish on map mode, baby. And I thought, coming from 50cc, that I could also get those flawless achievements on 100cc. But boy, was this a big jump in difficulty compared to any other Mario Kart. The Mushroom Cup showed me I need to work to maintain that lead. I couldn't really turn my brain off, and that increase in pressure during the Flower Cup really exposed the more difficult track designs that were creeping in. I managed to get the flawless on Mushroom Cup and Flower Cup, but the Star Cup was a different story. Vanilla Lake at night. Yo, Donkey Kong Jr. just came out of the sky. Banana out of nowhere. The jump didn't work. What, was he driving on me? That's crazy. No! And I crossed the finish line. I pushed start. No! I threw away the flawless. Not only did I fail to get the flawless on Star Cup, but 100cc also introduced the Special Cup. But I thought that I should keep true to my goal of getting the credits first, then focusing on the achievements, so I decided to be okay with some less than perfect Grand Prix. Did I mention there's lives in this game? You can rank out by placing 5th or worse on any race, but you get to retry a race at the cost of 1 of 3 lives. You can even retry early if you like as well, and will earn 1 more life by finishing a race in the same position 3 times in a row, although this might just be for finishing first place 3 times in a row. I didn't test it out. I made a life there. How? So I ended up winning less than flawless gold trophies in Star Cup and in Special Cup on 100cc.
Whoa-shi! It's a double Yoshi explosion!
And then the credits rolled. Hold on, the credits already? Yeah, I guess they thought 100cc was balanced enough to be the intended difficulty, and beating the Special Cup was that last mandatory challenge to make the credits roll. It makes sense because Rainbow Road has no railings on it, so you can just dive off into the abyss. God bless our friend and savior Lakitu for fishing us back each time. Do you have a minute to talk about our friend and savior Lakitu? And they actually put together a nice little credit sequence for you to enjoy, letting your hard-earned victories really sink in. The music here is decent too, being one of the lesser-known Mario Kart tunes. And I'm happy to refresh that track in my mind so I can better enjoy the new rendition of it in Mario Kart World.
Can you tell I like music in video games? If you listen to the old ones and then you know them for future stuff, it's super cool. It's just really nice.
Wait, I should actually talk about the game's music and sound effects a little bit. Immediately, the first track here is a banger. And the character select screen track brings it back down, but it's still boppable. And the first racetrack of the game has a banger for all time. I can't explain it properly, but there are parts of this track that is literally racing. Does that make sense? I mean, listen to this part, especially as it's gearing up to loop back around to the start. Instead of going over every single track and why it fits into the level it's assigned to, I'm just gonna mention Vanilla Lake because that is my favorite track of the game. This track has that plinkety-plunkety vibe, but the melody and chord progression has my heart. I hugely recommend that nighttime rendition in Mario Kart World. It is so smooth, you'd think it was that episode of Magic School Bus where they played baseball without friction. And let me tell you about the engine sounds. They all got that brrrr going on and I love it. And that's especially true when you're accelerating or somebody's passing by you. It do be tickling my eardrums. There's also something to be said about the character's vocal expressions as you pass by other characters. It's just fun. Hey, we're not done yet. Do I actually think this game is worth playing post-credits? Well, for one thing, I just got 150cc as a bonus for beating Special Cup on 100cc, so I want to try that. Okay, Bowser's not even the... We got him, dude. Okay, that's a regular turn, and I'm sliding. Okay, we're gonna try to hit that. Ooh. I do like how I'm racing against... Oh. Okay. Just like by tapping the brake. Uh-oh. Boosted... Oh, there it is. Okay, the problem is I'm doing this on 150.
What do I expect here?
Yeah, that's pretty tough. So maybe I'll try the battle mode that only supports 1v1.
Anybody want to play?
It's a bit tough to enjoy this mode when anyone you find won't be anywhere near your skill level with the game, leading to them losing constantly. In a study by the late Dr. Jack Panksepp, when larger rats would not let smaller rats win in a wrestling play session once in a while, Panksepp estimated around 30% of the time, the smaller rats would stop playing with them. I endorse this practice of letting the smaller rats win occasionally to let your friends build their skill levels up. And this could work for any game you want to enjoy together. That way, you'll have someone to play this game with for life. Even when you don't have a good argument when they tell someone else that they beat you, someone that's supposed to be good at the game.
I can't believe I beat him. He's supposed to be good at the game.
That being said, if your friend is a chill dude, it's actually still really fun to play together. Battling has a meta that emerges immediately where it's best to get a red shell and shoot it at the right time. The items are completely random even if you've lost some of your orbs, so you can just get lucky with red shells even when you're winning at times. We tried a 2-player match race as well, which had these little enemies on the track trying to slow you down. But you could also just play a 2-player Grand Prix with lots of other racers, which felt better. Something I noticed is there must be an actor or sprite limit, because sometimes when I would place a banana or shell, I would see another one on the track disappear. That probably explains why they were able to put those enemies in the match race mode, because there would be way too many things in Grand Prix with 8 racers and items. I was also reminded that if you race the wrong way, Lakitu will get in your face with an X sign to encourage you to turn around. I'll admit that since it didn't take that long to beat the game, and I felt like I was just getting a little better at it, I did want to keep playing even if 150cc wasn't that appealing. I actually really want to do those achievements first. So I ended up looking to the remaining retro achievements and decided to try the ones that didn't sound so bad. During my regular playthrough, without trying, I had completed a few more achievements, like Quick Start, Cautious Driver, Koopa Beach 2 Secret, not so secret, and a few of the shortcuts that I knew of or spotted along the way. And those were always a joy to achieve, even if I wasn't putting effort into it. To see that achievement pop up on screen, for some reason it's way more fun in a retro game than it's ever been on a modern console. But with my goal now completed, those achievements were everything I was focusing on. Donut Plains 1 shortcut, easy. Rich Racer, not easy. Slippery Finish, tedious. Ghost Valley 1 shortcut, fun as heck. Clumsy Victory, hilarious. Boosted Victory, anxiety inducing. Bowser Castle 2 shortcut, I didn't even deserve this one. Koopa Beach 1 secret, how is this a secret? No mercy, I gave them no mercy. Epic comeback. Now this one, I sort of had to strategize because I needed to start the last lap in 5th and then finish it in 1st, but if I hung back in 5th sooner, the racers would be slowing down for some reason to let me pass them, I guess. But my rival up in 1st would not be slowing down, so I had to stay in 1st the whole race as usual, and then wait at the finish line so that as soon as they all passed me for that last lap, they were much closer together and easier to pass for my epic comeback, which didn't end up feeling as epic considering the achievement method.
Strange, isn't it?
That's called irony. Bowser's Castle 3 domination. Dominated! Ghost Valley 3 shortcut. Feather mandatory. And that's all I decided to do before I ran out of steam for this game. But days later, I would find myself wanting to play it more, so I did that on my Switch. And I played it on my Switch because I thought you guys might be interested in seeing me complete more of the achievements, so we could do that together during a live stream over on SpendyXP, either here on YouTube or on Twitch. And did you know that if I complete all of the achievements in a set on Retro Achievements, it's called a mastery for that game? I've only ever achieved a mastery for Donkey Kong Country 2 and another game for videos here on YouTube. But maybe you'd like to hang out and watch me suffer trying to do that on this game, or a different game in the future, I don't know. Not to mention, there's a whole bonus subset of achievements that don't count towards the mastery, but they're really just strange ones that involve glitches and cheat codes that we could try too. Anyway, while this game is only as long as it takes to get good at it, it was still fun to play something simple yet challenging. I went from not being able to beat the game as a child to rolling the credits in a few hours and wanting to keep playing. It's quite the unique experience as well, with computer players using inaccessible items against you at will and rubber banding that's enough to explode your watermelon. That rush I got maintaining the lead on all the other computer players trying desperately to take me down was definitely worth noting. And also, all those moments that I was able to nail a few drifts in a row together felt especially good. It's a feeling that makes me think about drifting in this game when I'm not playing it. Getting good at drifting in any other Mario Kart has not felt like this. Well, maybe Super Circuit, but we'll get there. Considering its time of release, this game did not miss much of what made a karting game special, and it still warrants playing today. I'm glad I decided to go over it again and include the retro achievements as well. I think instead of giving a rating for this game, I'll let you know if I think it's worth playing or not, and if you do have access to this game, I think it's definitely worth giving it a try at least.
Give it a try.
If you have the base membership for Nintendo Online, then you already have it. Go give it a try, sucker!
Give it a try.
And if you have the means to find a ROM, get an emulator downloaded that supports retro achievements, and then connect retro achievements to it, do that. And that goes for any other retro games you can play that way. I would be interested to look into other achievement sets as well. It's an amazing way to play some of these retro games, especially the ones that you grew up with. I know not everybody's the tinkering type, but if you put in the effort, it's well worth it in my opinion. And that's it. I'm super thankful you've watched through to the end of the video. It actually helps my videos so much. Like, you can comment, you can leave a like, and those help too. But just watching it through to the end, it's amazing, thank you. And next up in the series is Mario Kart 64, the fan favorite that's regularly played even today. I actually have a couple of wild takes on that one, so hopefully I see you next time on Spendy VG. Grand Prixes. During those Grand Prixes, I even got first place in some of those Grand Prixes every single time, and I got the flawless achievement. Maybe Koopa was a fan of Michael Jackson? Maybe Koopa was a fan of Michael Jackson? Maybe Koopa was a fan of Michael Jackson. Maybe Koopa was a fan of Michael Jackson? Okay, that's enough. I gotta stop this nonsense.